So, this is the first vlog I'm doing. Not the first film I'm doing, but the first vlog I'm doing. And I picked a lovely 75, 80 degree day in my backyard to do it. Why not? I've been trying to set up a set inside my house for the past week, and I'm like, yeah, well, I finally figured one out. But hey, why not? Why not come outside and enjoy the weather? So why am I starting this now? I've had the equipment for years. I've had the desire for years. Why now? A week ago, I woke up with the worst despair I've had in a long time. It's like I just haven't accomplished anything in my life. I've studied so many different things, and I'm 49 and a half, almost 50. And where is that going? So I'm sitting there at work doing my data review job, and a coworker said, all this awareness is too much. Like, we were talking about work in particular. He said, all this awareness is too much. What we need is 8 hours of awareness, and the rest of the time is carefreeness. And I said, okay, well, it's funny, but that's the problem with attaching to everything, because awareness is the best thing. It's just that when you attach to everything that you're aware of, you wind up having an issue with it. You wind up getting bogged down by it. And I realized that, wait, this is what I've learned. This is what I've accomplished. And I've forgotten this for some reason. I've spent my life focusing on awareness, which a lot of people have, but they focused on potentially awareness of something. I've focused on pure awareness. And I've also focused on the antidote to awareness, or I should say the concurrent skill, which is detachment. I mean, we could call it Buddhist detachment, but sure, why not? But the idea is that the more things you're aware of, the more you have to let them flow past you, through you, in you, but don't hold on to them. The more you do that, the more you can be aware, the more you can just continue to expand what you're aware of. So my despair, as it turns out, is because I've become attached to a lot of those things that I'm aware of. I have 3 or 5 or 10 different PhDs I'd like to do. I have so many interesting things I'd like to write down. I have a million, connections of thoughts and ideas, and each one of those would be a 10-year pursuit minimum. I mean, it's 6 years full time to get a PhD. I'd be doing it part time, so it'd be 10 years apiece. So I don't have 200 years. I don't have 10 lifetimes. I don't have any money for it, that's for sure. But really, why sit and write down to get it honed to a place that perfectly fits? Then what? Then what have I done? I've spent 10 years in the pursuit of one idea. Again, or not again, but that's the realization. The awareness itself is not about one idea. It's about all ideas and how they flow together. You can grasp them, you can glimpse all the connections at once, and let go. I've spent so much time trying to explain what I've seen. Sometimes I can say I've spent my entire life explaining what I saw as a truck driver. The stillness, metaphorical stillness of my mind. The stillness of one thought for months, because there was no distractions. So I've tried to explain this again and again and again, and I've reconnected different metaphors. I've come up with new and different ways of boxing it for somebody. I've all kinds of things. And each time I do that, the person who I've done that for isn't around anymore because I've spent so much time. I've spent so much time trying to figure out how to explain it. They ain't there. They're gone because I'm not interacting. I'm just focusing on the perfect way. Note on that, perfection. Perfection is insane. It's a ever circling spiral that goes nowhere, because you can focus on the details in so many ways and get nothing done. So another thing that comes along with the perfection and the myriad things I'm aware of is a struggle for legitimacy. It's another way of saying this. The legitimacy is the desire for being recognized as, yes, I know that. And you see, I have that certification. I have that degree. I have that clearly demonstrated knowledge that I know that thing. And it's legitimate because everybody has agreed to it, and the schools have agreed to it, and the people have agreed to it, and it's now published, or it's being seen and read by hundreds and thousands of people. Well, you could say a lot of us have that struggle, but at the same time, I'm having that struggle on so many levels because of all the ideas I want to put out there, all the methods I want to put it out there as, that I can't even start. I just can't even start. So I delegitimize, I don't even know if that's the right word. I mean, depression, yeah, that's not the right word. I build a wall. I have I can't even express it. With 1,000 ideas going in 10 different directions, I guess I'm just pulled so thin. There's no spark of energy to go in any one of those directions, or even any 3 of those directions. So here I am. One thing I have done is focus on filming. Haven't taken a class. I've taken photography classes for years, on and off, when I was in 7th grade. I've used my equipment for a while. I've edited for a while. I can say I'm good. I'm an amateur, of course. I mean, I can look at my shot and say, well, it's not quite framed right, but I know it's not quite framed right. Right now, do I care? No. Frankly, if you're looking at my face versus those leaves, you're wasting your time. You can hear me, though. It's just such a beautiful day. I mean, so the framing, the sound, I'm sure is decent. Well, I'm outside, so there's not much control I can have over some things. The wind. So my task now for myself is to say it all. I'm going to say every idea I have. I'm not going to prove it. I don't have to. I'm going to lay it down. I'm going to publish it just right here for you. And that's it. I'll let 10 other people get the PhD in those ideas, or not. I'll wait for the book to come out that somebody else has published. In fact, it's funny. I mean, a lot of times, say, I've been unemployed for a couple months at a time. I'll research and I'll research and I'll research, and I'll find exactly where the next thought hasn't been written. And, oh, here's the paper that was just published weeks ago on exactly that topic. So clearly, this is where the current thinking is. This is where the new writing, the new PhD should come. But for me to be in that discipline, I have to go backwards and study it officially for, again, that 10 years. And by that time, it's gone. I'd have to come up with a new idea or a new piece of that idea. Again, why? I'm going to say it right here for you. So, what is this vlog going to be about? My stepfather just told me a story back in the 70s. He was in one of the South American countries that was going through their, really bad period, high control. You couldn't, the politics were just so horrible. Everything was controlled. And he was being taken around, and his guide said, "We can talk about anything. Sure, you can say anything you want. We can talk about anything. But don't talk about sex, religion, and politics." Well, so this blog is going to certainly be about those three. It's also going to be about another discipline I have, which is technology. But again, that's my master's degree is technology, but I'm not going to talk about that per se. I mean, I could, but I want to talk about the implications of what I saw in school. Even it winds up being, well, communication, just pure communication on some level. Sex, well, my certification in somatic sex education, otherwise known as sexological bodywork. That's a very particular mode of expressing touch and awareness. I've been to Interfaith Seminary for 2 years. I was ordained for 2 years after that and decided to let that go. Religion, another obvious direct approach to awareness. It can be anyway. Every tradition has its approach to awareness, and I've taken what I hope to be a lot of the best of those traditions and brought them to bear. I have my main Facebook page. I have Passionate Wisdom Facebook group, which was my seminary outcropping. I have my Social Exclusion Project Facebook group, which started a long time ago as my awareness of equality and inequality and the different ways that comes out. I have my YouTube page where everything will be stored, which is Dream Made Flesh. We are all our own dream made flesh. There's a Yoruba tradition that we are spirit before we are born, and we know who we are, who we want to be. We choose our parents. And so in that way, we are our dream made flesh. So that will be the vlog, and it'll be a lot of different directions. I'm sure some will like some, and some will like others, and some will hate some, and some will hate others. Oh well. That's what being a human is, I guess, and that's also part of the detachment. I just have to put it out there. So I'll see you as often as I see you, from as many locations as I can. Flies.